Hey everybody, Mac here for OCR Kings, and it is that time again. We are fortunate enough to have another fantastic sit rep from our friend Tom. The man is a machine. We will add a link to his Instagram profile below. Definitely go and check him out. Also, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Helps to grow the channel. And we will provide a link to this unabridged sit rep in the description below as well. Definitely read it through. Lots of fantastic details down there. This is for the Seattle Trifecta weekend. This is I guess, the Pan American Championship weekend. This was out in Seattle, the 14th and 15th of September, 2024, held at the Meadowood Equestrian Center. Excellent. I'm looking at the map over here. I see some pretty big peaks. Interesting. Without further ado, let's see what Tom has to say. It says, overall, the Seattle Trifecta weekend has been one of the same weekends as Killington. Yeah, that is true. Since its inception in 2015. There's no doubt that Killington is more iconic of a race and should be on the bucket list of every Spartan. But depending on personal goals, Killington may not be an option for each racer. I think, too, as far as geography is, you're halfway across the country. You can go either way. If you're on the West Coast, probably Seattle is definitely the way to go. This race in Seattle, though, is worth considering for many other reasons. It has easy logistics, a runnable weekend trifecta. You can do the trifecta in one weekend. Very cool. A picturesque course and a vibe that is unique on the race calendar. Okay, Tom would know. He's done them all. So if he's saying that this has something unique to it, listen to the man. You know that he ain't lying. So as far as the Pacific Northwest, Tom writes, if you have never been to this part of the country, you are missing something special. He writes of this part of Washington being located just east of the Puget Sound and west of the Cascade Mountain chain, which extends from southern British Columbia south through Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. Interesting. Okay. The Cascades are part of the big Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire. A term that denotes heavy volcanic activity. The most recent eruption of Mount St. Helens in 1980, which I recall. I read about it on the internet. I wasn't around. Is a testament to the ongoing geological power of volcanic activity that formed the mountain chain, which Tom references. Check out his references below. They are impeccable. And he references an area of this valley that was formed 14,000 years ago when a glacial lake that built up over millions of years melted during the Vashon Glacial event. Interesting. At one time, the massive glacier stretched from Alaska to southern Oregon. And during the Vashon Glacial event, the glacial lake melted and huge amounts of water were unleashed on the region, bringing rocks and boulders with it. Cool. Tom actually has a picture here of one of those from this event. Neat. The millions and millions of smooth rocks littering the valley floor are remnants of the Vashon Glacial event before the water eventually entered the Pacific Ocean, creating the Puget Sound. Very cool. As for the venue itself, Tom writes that the race has been held for the last several years at the Meadowwoods Equestrian Center, a 900-acre piece of property. It's adjacent to the Meadowwoods Farms. Gives a reference here, a local co-op farm that farms a portion of the course. Interesting. And which was the most boring? Okay, also interesting. The Equestrian Center has a large field for parking. Excellent. Making it straightforward to park, which we love to hear. But based on when you arrive, it means a walk to registration. Okay, get there early, get better parking. Cool. When Tom rolled in, so he writes, it was 5:30 a.m. for both days. But he actually heard racers grumbling that, they should be able to park even closer. He didn't think it was a big deal. I probably wouldn't have thought it was a big deal either. It could have always been worse. You might have to, use the bus like you would do in New Jersey, which stinks. Or you could have bear crawled the distance. And he's got a reference there. More on that in a second. As far as logistics, as counterintuitive as it may seem, airfares to Seattle are reasonable. Excellent. Seattle is a major IT business hub, and there are plenty of flights to SeaTac. He's got a reference there. If you book early, cool. A huge advantage for flights is the ability to get a red eye, which eliminates the need to rush to the airport or stay an extra day before getting back to work on Monday. Back to reality after the trifecta weekend is over. So sad and depressing, but we'll move right along. The venue itself is located about 40 minutes north of Seattle between Everett and Bothell. Hopefully, we're saying that correctly. If not, please excuse me. There are several hotels, restaurants, and food stores in either town, which is easy highway access to the event site. This is great. This year, he stayed in Bothell, 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 which is a 20-minute car ride, and he was able to find a local YMCA for foam rolling post-race recovery. Excellent. I have a feeling that maybe Rocco wasn't there. Otherwise, you could have gotten that sort of treatment and beyond at Athlete Services, which is fantastic. Definitely check out Rocco. We'll add a link to him in the description below as well. Now, as far as the courses, the Beast course spent the first 6 miles running to the river, down and through the riverbanks several times. This included some low-lying areas that were muddy and dealing with the millions of rocks that dotted the area. That was from that glacial event that we just learned about. Cool. He writes that the water was crystal clear and cold and an incredible running experience. We then doubled back to the festival area, so writes Tom, and headed into the old-growth forest on the other side of the venue for some gentle hill work through an active quarry of fallen trees that made running more challenging than the first section. The final 3 miles were comprised of sandbag carry, then rolling mud, dunk wall, slip wall, and some flat running in the field before finishing up. Sounds like it's fantastic. The Super eliminated the river section and focused on this back section of the course. I'm looking at it right here on the map. Interesting. Both the Beast and the Super were fast, with only some very muddy sections slowing things down. The rocks were not an issue once you got used to them. On both Saturday and Sunday, the afternoon sprint took just one trip uphill through the quarry and then back down into the final section. The sprint could have been very fast, but for reasons described in the following section, it was notably slow and frustrated some racers. Format of the race was a Saturday Beast and afternoon sprint. Sunday was a morning Super and afternoon sprint. Some of the same problems in previous races that used this format popped up again in this particular weekend. Interesting. First-time sprint racers are largely there to have fun, and Tom and I applaud each one of them. Absolutely true. It's great to see people laughing and joking during the sprint since this is their first experience. Of course, we want them to have a good time and come back and build the sport. But for racers who have done multiple events, this can be problematic. Tom has reconciled this by saying to himself that Spartans are active recovery, not a race. Interesting. This approach will lessen the frustration of veteran racers and provide a positive to what was otherwise a great race weekend. All right, he's making some lemonade here out of lemons. There's no doubt that race integrity suffers in this format with double sprints, but now it is a fact of life on trifecta weekends. For those who cannot reconcile this schedule, my suggestion is to run age group in the sprint, since you will be with fast racers who go out by the end of the weekend and get it done. Okay, so what Tom is writing, and we've heard this a couple of times now in sit reps, I'm thinking, bottlenecks, slowdowns. There's some people who are out there having fun, and they're not doing the, personal best, looking for a podium or doing any of that. They're taking their time. That's great. That's fantastic. But if you're looking to go quickly, some folks standing around the obstacles or creating lines and bottlenecks, it might slow you down. The bottlenecks is what I think is the most frustrating for a lot of folks who've done many, many races. Tom ran with a fellow OCR King subscriber, Dustin Beaver. What up, Dustin? At the end of day 2, Dustin is a dedicated racer, and Tom and OCR Kings both want to thank him for being so friendly on the course and wish him all the best for the rest of the season. Aru! So Tom is not going to go through a blow-by-blow of all obstacle placement, but things were loaded front heavy, middle heavy, and back heavy for the beast. Let's take a look at the map. We're on the green line here. Oh, well, yeah. Yikes. All right, here's the middle. Wow. That is really, really stacked up. 11 through 17, the 20s. Wow. Okay. All right. Neither Tom nor I care for that sort of layout, but okay. Less so for the shorter races, though. I guess things were better paced. Tom did notice some positive obstacle changes. First, the monkey bars were longer than he's seen in a while. There seemed to be an additional section, and the entire structure seemed brand new, shiny, and recently built. That's good. And Tom hopes this becomes mainstay. So do I. Second, taking a cue from European races, there was one exception to the penalty loop quarter mile. Monkey bars failure meant you had to grab a 20-pound kettlebell. Okay. Actually, no, you had to grab 2 of them, so writes Tom. Excellent, and carry them through some gnarly, muddy tree roots on the quarter mile trek. Then there was a bungee cord crawl with the kettlebells. Like that. Fantastic addition, and he encourages Spartan to make all the penalty loops have some additional twist, as do I. I would also like to see the additional twist of some new obstacles on the course proper. Okay? And if you're going to include them on the map, such as Ape Hanger at Killington, you better deliver. Finally, there was also an obstacle everyone was calling Monkey in the Middle, which had a combination of overhead obstacles that he hadn't seen before. It got a lot of positive reactions from the group he was running with at the time. Interesting. Let's see if that's on the map anywhere. Yes, it is. Map obstacle number 28 for the beast. Monkey in the Middle. Cool. All right, going on a tirade about new obstacles. Let's keep it going there, Spartan. And let's get some of these on the East Coast. Tom goes on to write about the teddy bear crawl. Now, we've done a video on this in the past. We will link to that also in the description below. Tom ran 2 races on Saturday and was invited to the teddy bear crawl early on Sunday to fight for the coveted kids race medal. Cool. Teddy Bear Crawl is a grassroots race headed up at this race by Brian. Okay, check him out over here in the Pokemon picture. Very, very cool. Each racer is asked to contribute money to a website that is designated to raise money for stuffed animals to be distributed to children's hospitals. All right, we will add a link to that directly where you can punch in and contribute. The organization posts its schedule, and Tom wants to thank OCR Kings for highlighting the event, and he encourages everybody to join in. It's our pleasure. That's no brainer. Happy to do it. Links below. It's a good cause, and you get a chance to meet other Spartan racers who want to have fun. Awesome. So at 7 a.m. on Sunday, just before the Super and the Sprint, about 50 folks met on the kids' course for the quarter-mile bear crawl. You're down in that bear crawl position, you're going a quarter of a mile. It's pretty crazy. You can laugh all you want about the measly bear crawl, so says he, but after 2 races on Saturday, it wasn't easy as it sounds. I'm not laughing. I don't think the quarter mile in that position is measly by any event, and certainly not after doing 2 long races. So fantastic. He made friends with a woman with MS who walked the course with us, or with them, excuse me, and reminded him, and probably all of us as well should be, reminded of how lucky we are, and how lucky we are to be able to do what we do. So bottom line, they had fun. It was for a good cause, and he earned his kids race medal. Hats off to you, Tom. So in conclusion, there are some years you may not be able to attend Killington. As such, Seattle is a solid choice for a full weekend of racing. You can run 5 races, including Teddy Bear Crawl. This place is part of the country where you may never have thought to visit, but it is beautiful and unique from a geological and historical perspective. Though there were some controversial elements in this year's race, it did not diminish the experience at all. Course layout can always be better, so writes Tom, no matter how good it gets. And overall, it was a great race weekend with some twists and turns that make you appreciate the fact that we get to do this for fun. Amen. Amen, Tom. Thank you so much, Tom, for this fantastic sit rep and all that you do. Congratulations on all your achievements and all your trifectas. I believe the last count was 11. It might be on to 12. You, sir, are a machine. As always, hats off to you. Everybody check out Tom. His Instagram profile link is down below. If you see him out on the course, shake the man's hand. Tell him he's doing a great job, because he is. And thank him on behalf of all of us for these fantastic reviews. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. It helps to grow the channel. It's greatly appreciated. And we hope to see you out there on the course real soon. But until that time, remember, as always, train hard, have fun.